Morning, everyone. King gave the throne speech this morning. I listened in, watched some of the ceremony that went on around it. And it was a typical speech, but one of the things that I kind of went, what? Was at the very end, he told his government to appropriate what they needed in order to fulfill their objectives. Might want to look up the word appropriate. That's not a good word. It's very telling on what they're doing. But for those that aren't aware, the ceremony that goes on around that shows the type of relationship that people have with the king. So the usher, he's that fellow in the fancy hat, and he's carrying that black rod. The black rod represents the king's power and authority in Canada, and that is a feudal tool to extend the king's authority to his, I'm going to pronounce it Demesne, it's actually pronounced domain, but the king's Demesne is a feudal term to signify all the land, people, and property of the king that he rules over. And the Lord of the Manor, which is the Governor General, lives in the Manor House. She's the Lord of the Manor. And when the king is here, that becomes his residency when he's in Canada. And that Manor House is a feudal symbol of authority and power within the manor being Canada. Each province has a manor house too. Like I know the one in Edmonton is near the provincial archives. I don't think anybody resides in it anymore, but it's still there. And that's the representation of the Lord of the Manor, which is the Lieutenant Governor that governs the manor called Alberta. And when people vote and participate and all that kind of stuff, they're essentially swearing an oath to the king to be feudal serfs. And this is the nature of the relationship. But it's all a lie. It's all a fictional construct. But it only exists because people participate in it. People give their power to it, and their energy as well. I had a friend that was in court. This is years ago, but the judge literally told her that the moment people stopped voting, he wouldn't have a job. So he acknowledges that this de facto, which is illegitimate but in effect, the in effect part is the result of people participating in it all. So if people are struggling, feeling powerless, and wanting to change the system and all that kind of stuff, our power isn't rested or vested in the system. It's right here, being able to govern ourselves and connect with that spiritual kingdom that's within us. People literally give their power away to these people and then whine and complain that they're not doing what they want them to do. The king, through his lords and prime ministers and all that kind of stuff, has essentially surrendered his sovereignty to the globalists. And they're doing it through treaties. So they don't need people voting to do this. They're literally signing away their quote-unquote sovereignty to these globalist institutions. And people didn't vote for that. It's because the king can do whatever he wants, and that's what he's doing. Like when he was speaking, I can't remember where he was speaking, but he spoke of him, he didn't say a name, but him, who has hundreds of trillions of dollars at his disposal to fix the world problems. And this, to me, is some of the hints of the Antichrist that's going to be governing the world soon as they consolidate the world into 10 kingdoms. And that's what's going on in North America right now, is they're trying to consolidate North America into one of the 10 kingdoms. And this has been in a globalist agenda for 40 years. Like, this is something that was talked about in the 70s. So, you know, we don't need to participate with this. We don't need to go along with it. But what we need to do is remove our dependency of it, which means to return back to connecting with Mother Earth and restoring our tribes so that we have the people and the resources and the protection to be able to navigate what's coming. And these globalists, they're not stopping. And, you know, what they're doing in the US is part of the agenda too. Like, it's a false light, which I talked about a few days ago. And this is going to require us to walk a very different path in order to remove ourselves from these agendas. And, you know, they're going to end up destroying themselves. Like, we don't need to destroy them. We don't need to fight them. We don't need to argue with them or any of that kind of stuff. But I do feel that what we do need to do is connect to our own internal power and authority and stand on that and remove our dependency from them, which requires a huge foundational shift in how we navigate life, how we provide for ourselves and each other, and how we connect and communicate with one another. So as the king is on Turtle Island and acknowledging that he's on unceded land but continues to govern anyway, which is a very passive-aggressive thing to do. There's no reconciliation in saying, yeah, I took your land, but, you know, we're going to keep going anyway. Like, you know, that is a very violent, abusive thing to do with anyone. And so I refuse to participate in it all. I refuse to be a subject to the king. And I actually walked away from all of it back on April 12th, 2008, which is a long time ago. And I have no regrets. It's challenging. It's hard because so far there's not a lot of people willing to walk this path. But I am willing to teach people and hold space for this type of emancipation and freedom that most people are scared to even contemplate, let alone explore. But in my view, taking that leap of faith with Creator and trusting that Spirit has our back as we return back to our nature gives me the faith and the confidence to continue doing this work. And yeah, I pray that we all find our way through all of this one way or another. There's, you know, no judgment against people that are trying to figure it out themselves or that sort of thing. But, you know, there is fear involved, and it helps to go into ceremony and through our sacred circles, sacred heart circles specifically, to work on the fear so that we can come together and find the support that we need to take these leaps of faith. And so I thank you for connecting with me today and hearing me out. And yeah, for all the subjects, the citizens of Canada who are subjects of the King, I pray that the new government that serves the King will also serve you. I doubt that, but I pray that this goes gently for you all. I love you.